Hello everyone and welcome back to another edition of Ya Girl Has No Self-Control when it comes to buying books, and also we'll probably need another bookshelf pretty darn soon. So if you follow me on Bookstagram, you may have seen that More Than Words, my favorite secondhand book shop, of which I have another video explaining why, had a 50% off deal this weekend for Christmas and the festive season and cozy season. So of course I had to go with my Booksta bestie, Anna from Girls Who Read Around on Bookstagram. So it's really fun shopping with a friend too, because she handed me a bunch that was like, these were some of my favorites, and her point of view is very different from mine because she grew up in London, so she has a bunch of different favorite authors that I've never heard of and books that are apparently very, very popular and that everyone she knows has read, but I have not. So I am really excited for a lot of these. I mean, I'm really excited for all of these, not just the British ones, but it's a different kind of experience than what I've done before with book buying. So let's get into it. I grabbed 2 festive books because I am running a book giveaway on my Bookstagram. Or I guess it's not a book giveaway, it's kind of a festive giveaway. I love making presents and I didn't really know what the prize was going to be, but I figured I would make a fun Christmassy thing. So this is Elin Hilderbrand's Winter Solstice, which is part of the Winter Street series, I believe, which is set on Nantucket. This might be the 4th one, the most recent one? So this is like brand new. Way to go, More Than Words. So it's set on Nantucket and kind of in snowy, cozy feel, the Quinn family drama and everything that's going on with them. I have the first 2 on hold through Libby from the BPL, so I'm probably gonna read those so I can know what I'm giving away exactly. And then the other one for people who maybe want something a little bit darker, this is from P.D. James, The Mistletoe Murders and Other Stories. So these are short stories of murder, I'm assuming around the Christmas time, and inside someone has pasted a little blurb. So this may have been an advanced reader copy at some point, but apparently P.D. James is the acknowledged queen of crime, which I will disagree with. That is Agatha Christie, but nice try. And the only book from her that I have read is Death Comes to Pemberley. Didn't love the book, loved the adaptation. Possibly an unpopular opinion, but here we are. So these are special short stories that she has been commissioned to write for different newspapers and magazines. And then 4 of the best of those are collected here for the first time. We have murder mysteries, 2 of which feature the young poet detective Adam de Dalgleish. And I just think it could be a really fun thing to grab for the holiday season, whether you want it to be cozy and dramatic or mayhem and murder. So I do have a couple of other things that I picked up specifically for this giveaway, but I don't think I'm going to show them, even though some of them did come from More Than Words, but I'm going to get a little sneaky and not show them. You can go and find the giveaway on my Bookstagram account, which is Random Librarians with the S at the end, even though there's not one here. Then, after that, the ones that Anna handed me are these 3. So we have Knots and Crosses by Mallory Blackman, which is the first book in an award-winning sequence. This one was $1, which is pretty amazing. So I guess it was actually 50 cents, which is bananas. So according to Anna, this is kind of a reverse of the race relations we have today. So the only people that are learned about in school in history books and in popular culture are Black. The vast majority of the governing bodies are Black, and the minority is now white, and the white people have no power, which I think, given her enthusiasm for this book and how award-winning it is, should be required reading. This sounds like it's going to be amazing, and I am very ready to have my inherent white privilege trekked out of the park. I guess if it's hockey, it should be checked out of the rink, but I'm mixing my sports metaphors. You know what I mean. I'm really excited for this one, and I think it's going to be a very interesting read, especially because I know nothing about it other than what Anna has told me and how much she liked it. So this is gonna be really cool. Next, we have The Time Traveler's Wife, which is weirdly heavy, even though it's not a very thick book. I think everyone kind of knows the story behind this. I think I even know the story behind it, but I still haven't read it, which is crazy. But this is apparently Tosh, who is the other half of Girls Who Read Around on Instagram, who is still in London, even though Anna is here in Boston. This is her favorite book, and I'm really excited to read it. Anything they recommend, I'm like, yeah, it's on the list. So it's going to be fun to read her favorite as well. Then the last book that she kind of handed me as we were walking through the store is The Shack from W.M. Paul Young. So I believe this was recently made into a movie. A father's young daughter dies, and he kind of goes through this religious and healing series of meetings in a shack in the woods, I believe. So it should be pretty interesting. Anna said it was the first kind of adult book that she had read, so and loved, read and loved, I guess is the caveat there. So I'm really excited to dive into this one. The premise of it is really interesting to me. Yeah, so the last section on this back says, in a world where religion seems to grow increasingly irrelevant, the shack wrestles with the timeless question, where is God in a world so filled with unspeakable pain? The answers Mac gets will astound you and perhaps transform you as much as it did him. You'll want everyone you know to read this book. So, I mean, it's set in like a snowy setting, and it seems like it could be a good winter read as well, kind of cozy and feel good, even though there's a potential brutal murder at the beginning. But we'll see. Then the next ones that we picked up. So I found 2 copies of these, so I made Anna grab one as well. I've been seeing this hyped everywhere on Instagram, and I don't really know what's up with it much beyond that. But we have kind of family psychological thriller, I guess. How far would you go to protect the ones you love? And it is a twisted narrative of love and murder. A horrific crime makes a seemingly normal family question everything they thought they knew about their life and one another. Okay, so the daughter is accused of murdering a man who is much older than her. Her dad is a pastor and her mom is a criminal defense attorney. And we have a 3-part structure, I guess, following each one of them. Oh, this should be really interesting. So I understand why this has been so hyped. Okay, this is M.T. Edwardson. And it's published by Celadon Books. I'm guessing, was this a translation? Or is that just a very... Yeah, okay, so this is a translation. But the US edition only came out in June of 2019. So this was a really cool find, and I am pretty excited for this one. Anna works in a law firm, so like that should be interesting for her as well, because it's an intensely suspenseful legal thriller, and I don't know if she reads a lot of like legal dramas because they might remind her a little bit too much of work. So whoops, I like forced this one into her hands and I hope she likes it. I have another kind of legal thriller. Again, I've been seeing this one everywhere. I believe this is part of a series, so I hope that I can kind of jump in without knowing the other books. But this is 13 from Steve Kavanaugh, and it says the serial killer isn't on trial, he's on the jury. So I don't know anything else about that book, but that line hooked me right in, and I am really excited for this one. Especially because, as I said, I saw it a little bit everywhere when I first started on Bookstagram. And then lastly, I picked up this one mainly because it's a story about an archivist. So it's The Archivist Story by Travis Holland. It takes place in Moscow in 1939 when a famous author is in jail at like the end of his days, and an archivist is sent in to kind of get the last of his stories from him, and then he is charged ultimately with destroying them. I just think that that sounds really interesting, and it could introduce me to a new author to read because I don't know who Isaac Babel is, sorry. So those are the books that I picked up on my half off extravaganza, and I have another book buying excursion video coming up soon as well. So yes, I may or may not have a very serious book buying problem. But let me know your thoughts on these in the comments down below. If I picked up one of your favorites, if you think I am missing a book from one of these authors that I need to give a try. And yeah, until my next video, happy reading everybody, and happy cozy season. Bye.